Welcome, everyone. I'm Todd Bromley, Judges Committee Chair. We're meeting today to discuss Test Refresh. This is an initiative that was started over 2 years ago. I would like to thank Eric Hampton, Test Committee Chair, and Lynn Goldman, Task Force Chair, for their extensive work on this important initiative that will impact all moves in the field tests, free skating tests for both singles and pairs, and all dance tests. So let's get started, and I'm going to turn it over to Lynn.
Thanks, Todd. As you mentioned, we're going to do this implementation September 2nd. What's really, really important is when we talk about changing the marking of a test is we're not changing the test standards or the test expectations. Those test expectations and test standards are exactly the same. We're just changing our scale on how we're going to give a mark for a test.
Thanks, Lynn. In this pattern dance video, we will be covering the updated marking scale, marking translation from the 6.0 scale to a mark on a -3 to +3 scale, timing mark table for all levels of pattern dance tests, 3 marks, technique, timing, expression, 2 new passing categories, pass with honors, pass with distinction, and updated pattern dance test forms. We have also developed a new resource, a handbook for tests. This is a resource for all things tests, covering the aspects just mentioned with marking translation examples, presentation of test rules, test expectation standards, test requirements, and definitions for each test discipline. Before we talk about the -3 to +3 marking, the marking of pattern dance tests, preliminary, partnered and solo, and Special Olympics therapeutic skating remain as pass retry only, and for preliminary pattern dance tests, a pass in each division is required to pass. Next, Lynn will cover the -3 to +3 marking scale.
So here's our new scale that we're going to use. Instead of the 6.0 scale, we're going to use 0 up to +3 and -3. But what we need to do is we need to define points and understand what each of those levels mean. So we've created the passing average, which is 0. If a test is above average, that would be a +1. If it's clearly above, that would be a +2, and maybe even above that, considering that might be more than one test higher, that would be a +3. Also, conversely, a test that's below passing would be a -1, clearly below a -2, and significantly below a -3.
The timing mark also has defined points on the -3 to +3 scale. However, the timing mark is not relative to test level. It is defined the same for all levels of pattern dance tests. There may be a general thought about timing in that timing is either on or off. It's either A or B. Yet when timing is considered, there are gradations in timing. We are certainly comfortable with marking timing in the negative to various degrees when the timing is off, and this is reflected in the marking table, with -1 for some steps with incorrect timing or skated on the weak beat, -2 for sections of the dance with incorrect or variable timing, -3 for majority of the dance with incorrect timing. Going back to talking about timing as being either on or off, does timing have to be 100% accurate to meet the passing average? If one swing roll is rushed, or if a step is slightly off time, even though the timing is not 100% on, the timing may be considered to be generally correct at passing average. On the timing mark table, 0 is defined as timing generally correct. It is possible for a dance to be on time, yet the steps may not be held for the prescribed number of beats. Using the pre-bronze cha-cha as an example, this may occur during step numbers 8 and 9, the right forward outer to left forward inside chasse, where the dancer may not perform the steps for the prescribed number of beats, with a timing of 1 1/2 right forward outer and a half beat left forward inside chasse, but rather performs these steps with the same timing as the first chasse of the dance, steps 3 and 4, with a 1 beat and 1 beat timing. And yet, the overall dance remains on time, but not with all steps held for the prescribed number of beats. On the timing mark table, +1 is defined as correct timing, with all steps held for the prescribed number of beats. +2 is defined as all steps and body movements in time with the music. +3 is organically at one with the music, where the dancer gives the impression that they are creating the music. Now that Lynn has explained our new marking scale, we need to look at how the test levels are linked together. To do this, we will be looking at the marking equivalency between test levels, where a mark of +3 is equivalent to a mark of 0 at one test level above. By marking a +3, a judge communicates that the skater performed at the passing standard of one test level or more above. Just to review marking equivalency using bronze level pattern dance, 2-7, 0, passing average. A tenth up, +1, above. 2/10 up, +2, clearly above. 3/10 up or more, +3, one test level or more above. A tenth under, -1, below. 2/10 under, -2, clearly below. 3/10 under or more, -3, significantly below. We are moving from 2 marks to 3 marks. For pattern dance test partnered and solo, the technique mark remains the same, and the timing expression mark is divided into separate marks, the timing mark and the expression mark. So for the 3 marks, technique, timing, expression, technique is the composite of accuracy, placement, skating skills, style, unison if partnered, and separating out the timing expression mark into 2 marks to clearly reflect the degree and quality of each aspect. To show marking equivalency, for this marking example of a bronze pattern dance test, Willow Waltz, the skater excelled in technique, but not quite to the next level up, pre-silver, while the timing was generally correct and expression was right at the bronze level. On the left, marking on the 6/0 scale, 2/10 up, technique, 2.9. And on the right, marking on the -3 to +3 scale, technique, +2, clearly above. On the left, timing expression, 2.7. On the right, timing, 0, passing average, expression, 0, passing average. The total on the left, 5.6, pass. The total on the right, +2, pass. This slide shows marking examples of pass, pass with honors, pass with distinction. If skaters are more prepared and place greater emphasis on the quality of technique, timing, expression of their pattern dance test, there is the potential to be recognized for passing with honors or passing with distinction. As a reskate reminder, a reskate may only be requested if warranted in order to mark a test as pass and not as pass with honors or pass with distinction. The side-by-side test forms show the updated form on the right. The marking column moves from the space before the comments to the space after the comments. This placement for the marking column is consistent with all other test forms. The test result area is in a similar location, but the test result has been expanded and the order updated from pass retry to retry, pass, honors, distinction. New additions to the test forms include test level expectations on all pattern dance test forms and music, rhythm, tempo, and pattern dance timing information for reference. To zoom in, we can better see the additions to the form. In the middle, the music, rhythm, tempo, and on the right, the pattern dance timing information. The titles for adult and master's candidates have been updated to adult 21+ and adult 50+. The rules for pattern dance test expectations and standards, partnered and solo, remain the same for adult 21+ candidates and adult 50+ candidates. This page is included in the handbook for tests. It is a reminder about composite judging, taking into account quality, difficulty, and error. A test result is not based solely on the presence or absence of error. Rather, it is the composite of the skater's development and understanding of the concepts, difficulty relative to test level requirements, quality of execution and performance relative to test level expectation, and, as a final check, is the skater ready to move on to the next level?
So our new test sheets are going to be available September 2nd. So if you're preparing for a test session, make sure your test chairs know that they're going to need to get the new sheets if you happen to have a test session on September 2nd. So this ends our presentation right now, and again, thanks to Eric and Todd, and you can ask us any questions, and we'd be happy to answer your questions. So thank you very much.
Thank you.